So if you won the lottery and somehow managed to land one of the next-gen consoles, congratulations. You now have the ability to experience Destiny, really in the way that PC players have been experiencing it, but maybe even better. Like, I have a 1080 Ti, and I'm sitting there playing it on PlayStation 5, and I'm like, holy crap, this looks better than my 1080 Ti. Really though, guys, this next-gen upgrade that's been applied to Destiny 2 is incredible. Now, a couple things I want you to do. Say you're completely new to all these settings. I want you to go to your settings. I want you to scroll to video. You'll see like screen bounds, brightness, that's pretty much the same. But first, I want you to click on 120 hertz mode. Go ahead and select that on. This will allow you to kick up to 120 inside of Crucible. And if you're rocking like the PlayStation 5, you might have to select performance mode in PlayStation settings itself as to allow this, but just have that on. The second thing I want you to do, you see that field of view? Yeah, I want you to crank that bad baby all the way up. Now you might be like, oh, well, 90 sounds pretty good. No. Crank that baby all the way up. 105. This is gonna give you your max field of view, and you're gonna see so much in front of you. And like by 2025 or 2030, we're gonna have like field of view of like 180. We're just gonna be bug-eyed, man. Nothing will get the flank on us. Now, motion blur, chromatic aberration, and film grain. Let me just go ahead and say this. I don't like any of these, and this is what I do on PC. I actually turn all of those off, but I understand that is preference. Choose whatever you want. I will say chromatic aberration, film grain, you can leave those on if you want. Like if you aesthetically like those things and that little bit of noise, go right ahead. But hands down, cut motion blur off. Like never have I once looked at motion blur and thought, oh, that is some sexy blur. Now let's talk about the sexiness of console Destiny 2 gameplay. And it blows my mind that this is Destiny 2 right now. I've dreamed of this day. Guys, you gotta understand, just a little while ago, I was still on console. I was humping the Last Wish raid, playing all of Forsaken right here on console. And the only reason why I even jumped to PC was because I was like, man, I can't wait. I'm seeing all this sexiness, these 60 plus frames, this 105 field of view from all these other content creators. I can't wait another 1.5 to 2 years, which that's exactly what it turned out to be. It turned out to be 2 whole years before next-gen consoles finally shipped. I would argue and say now, though, both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 outperforms probably many mid-tier PCs. The fact that you can do this not only at 60 or 120 frames per second inside of Crucible, but simultaneously pull off 4K resolution is crazy to me. Now, we actually cut off our UI. We went inside of PvE, and I wanted to put it to the test. And I felt like some great areas to put it to the test is, of course, Europa. I was looking to see if Bungie was like gonna dumb down the storms, considering that there is a lot going on here between enemy AI and everything else. I was looking for frame drops, especially when the storm kicked up itself. My experience, and this is just on the PlayStation 5, and I know that I think the Xbox Series X is even stronger, but my experience is no. I did not visually pick up on any frame drops. And this is something like Digital Foundry will probably test out individually, but overall, the game handled wonderfully. Even amongst the deepest parts of the storm where things are getting really crazy and you can't even like see in front of you. Destiny 2 on consoles for next gen has been optimized so well. Just as good as PC, if not better. Now inside of Crucible, since I have performance mode on, I think the game like shifted to higher frame rates. You're supposed to be able to play at 120 frames per second, which is huge. Unfortunately for me, my HDMI port, as well as my monitor itself, as this is not my normal gaming monitor, is capped out at 60 hertz, which I was kind of like scrambling to find a couple things. Number one, an HDMI 2.1 cable. That's the thing with the new consoles, right? HDMI 2.1. Look, this is all new territory for me, guys. I've been rocking like DisplayPort cables now for forever due to being on PC. I went to Best Buy last night and could not find any HDMI 2.1. And I'm like, hey guys, do y'all have any HDMI 2.1 cables? And they're like, what? What are those? I literally feel like that meme from Parks and Recreation where Ron Swanson goes to Lowe's and looks at the worker and goes, I know more than you. Regardless though, even if I did have the HDMI 2.1 cables, and I do have one of them that came in the box, I just needed another, considering we are capturing here on Elgato. So you need actually 2 cables, one to go into your input feed and the other to go into output. I still don't have the monitor or even the TV to truly show this off. So visually, what you're seeing in front of you could be even better, substantially so, with the right monitor or the right TV and the right hardware, which again blows my mind. Look at this gameplay. This is Destiny 1. I jumped on Destiny 1 for just a little bit just to remind myself what 30 frames per second looked like. And mother of God, it's so hard going from 60 or even 120 all the way back down to 30. And I know I got some PS4 and Xbox One players crying right now. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like rub salt into the wound or anything, but once you go 60 or more, it's really hard to go back, like really hard. Once your eyes have adapted to that fluidity, going back to 30 FPS, especially 30 FPS, 75 field of view makes you almost nauseous. So overall, is Destiny 2 optimized well on consoles, at least for the PS5 and I'm assuming Xbox Series X? Yes, absolutely. Considering I don't even have all the hardware to truly show and flex what these consoles have to offer, I'm blown away by what I just see here. I saw no frame drops even when I was popping supers, even when tons of enemies were surrounding me and attacking me, and there's like so many particles in the air. Even amongst the storms of Europa, everything seems steady. Now, there is one area I have not tried this in because I don't have a console team. That's actually the raid. That kind of puts a lot of things to the test. Garden was like one that really killed console performance. There's a lot more going on in raids, so I'm actually curious to know if some of you have already raided on the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox, whether you've seen any type of frame drops whatsoever. As of now, though, this game is optimized so well, and it is gorgeous to look at. Like after I got done, I was like, Jesus, I need to upgrade my PC. I feel outdated right now. So guys, try it for yourself. I know many limitations are surrounding the fact that many of us can't get the new consoles. Damn scalpers, man. Hopefully Sony as well as Microsoft will increase their production and have them ready for this holiday, because that's obviously a huge time, as I think every kid this year is probably gonna put on their Santa list, I want the next gen console. Like I've been clicking refresh for the Xbox Series X for like the past 30 days and it's still not available. So yeah, I'm hoping just as much as you are that next gen consoles will become available soon. Outside of that, for my Destiny 2 players that have received this upgrade, that are experiencing this beautiful jump in Destiny 2's optimization, as well as graphically, the third thing you're about to be experiencing is the similar meta that we've been experiencing on PC. Like I have to agree with some of the console players stating that there is a difference between controller PC and controller console. What that really boils down to is there is a difference between 60 plus frames and 105 field of view and using a controller then versus 30 frames, 75 field of view. What you're about to be experiencing is a very similar meta. Hand cannons have felt phenomenal, and I don't know how good hand cannons was feeling before, but I've tried playing at 30 frames per second and 75 field of view with hand cannons, and I feel like my hand cannon literally jumps off my screen. Yesterday, I was landing crits with ease and was blown away that all of this was taking place right here on console. Now, I'm being told that there is cross-generational gameplay. Is that right? PS4 players are playing with PS5 players. Xbox players are playing with Xbox Series X players. If that's the case, I'm gonna deem this next, I don't know, 6 months to a year, the Great Farm. Because old gen players are about to get absolutely farmed inside of Crucible. I'm sorry, I know. If you're like looking at your PlayStation 4 right now or your Xbox One, I hate to say it, man. Now the question is, when exactly are we gonna get crossplay? Because now that I see how well the game is optimized, how similar it looks to PC, the question is when exactly is crossplay gonna roll out? Now I'm being told crossplay will not be PC and consoles though. They specifically are talking about crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation. Although I am hearing rumors that crossplay will be between PC, but it'll only be for PvE. I can tell you right now though, I think crossplay would be okay. Considering how well this game is performing, especially in something like Crucible. Like I'm using the PlayStation 5 controller right here and literally no input lag whatsoever. It's a fantastic controller, by the way. I really don't feel like console players will be at a disadvantage. Now, PlayStation 4 players and old gen console players, yes, 100%. You'll be at a disadvantage, but that's just because of the limitations of your hardware. But for our newer generation consoles, I don't think so. I actually think that crossplay here can be acceptable. And man, wouldn't that be nice? I've got people I like to raid with that are still on consoles, and the ability to just load up into a raid with them still, despite me being on a different platform, is amazing. I got friends that are on Xbox that are diehard Xbox fans, and they refuse to look at any other platform other than Xbox. Boom, I could still play with them. So guys, Destiny 2 has had a ginormous upgrade for console players. And I made comments before, and I think people thought I was like over exaggerating here when I said that when this upgrade actually occurs, Destiny 2 is going to feel like a completely new game. And lo and behold, it is. Like, the only thing I'm curious about is like ray tracing. Like, when is Bungie going to include ray tracing? Are they going to include it? I know that definitely impacts performance, but man, if they include ray tracing as well, holy crap. And maybe it's on. I don't even know. I don't have ray tracing on my 1080 Ti, man. What you mean? I wish. I'm still looking for Minecraft ray tracing though. Overall though, guys, if you do get one of the new PlayStations or one of the new Xboxes, you could download Destiny for free. Download that bad baby and just experience how incredible this game actually looks with this upgrade. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.